Peace, Israel, and Yah bless. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. I like the title of this segment, Don't Do It. Once again, this segment is entitled, Don't Do It. The reason I want to cover this is because our people, we have a misconception. We feel as though if it can be done, it's acceptable in the sight of the Most High. The Most High gave us laws, statutes, judgments, and precepts by which to live by. This is to govern our lives. It's to govern how we deal with each other. That same government, those same laws apply inside the house and outside the house in the street. The Most High commanded us, for an example, do not eat the pig. The pig is unclean. Do not eat shrimp, lobster, catfish. If you read Deuteronomy Chapter 11, it states clearly that anything within the rivers, the oceans, the streams that does not have both fins and scales, they are not to be eaten. They are the garbage men of the rivers and the seas. They clean out all the pollutants. These are not things to eat. They poison the body. Now, the average Israelite is a very rebellious person. He or she are constantly looking for any means and ways by which they can buck this law, by which they can go against it. They're looking to justify their unrighteousness, to justify their wickedness. If you tell someone, hey, don't eat pork, it's unclean, their response is going to be, well, my grandfather, he lived to be 97. He ate pork all his life. Ain't nothing wrong with him. I've been eating pork since I was a boy. I'm 65 years old. Ain't nothing wrong with it. All right. See, the part that they fail to emphasize is that, yes, your grandfather lived till he was 97 years old, but you forgot to mention all the plagues that the Most High put upon him over those 97 years for him walking contrary to the law, and all the sufferings that he had to endure and the hardship that he saw over those 90-something years. They don't put that part in there at all. And he may be 62 eating the pork and eating the shrimp, etc. He doesn't put in the health issues that he's had and the troubles that he's had in his life over that time span. Don't do it. Don't do anything that's contrary to the Most High's law. We seem to think, well, here's another rationale of some of our people. Well, if God didn't want us to eat pig, the pig wouldn't be here. Some people are quick to tell you, man, bacon is good. I'm going to eat this pork chop. I don't care what you say. And we're going to have our people that's rebellious in that regard. We were told and instructed not to marry a stranger. We do it anyway. So our people seem to think that because it can be done, that it's okay to do it. We were instructed not to worship any manner of idols. We were not to take part in idolatry. So we're thinking because we're able to do something, that it's okay for it to be done. What was instructed to us not to do carry grave penalties with it. But many times we do not understand the law. We do not understand the judgment that is placed behind that specific transgression. Sexual promiscuity, for example. When a woman or a man decides to run through the daughters of Zion, or if a woman decides to spread her legs for every man that comes by, and she decides to be a whore in the midst of our people, and you all know there should be no whores of the daughters of Zion, then those actions result in what's known as sexually transmitted diseases or an STD. These are plagues. Once you understand the Most High's laws, statutes, judgments, and precepts as it relates to any sexual matter and how you conduct yourself in that regard, when you see these sexually transmitted diseases, these are plagues for walking contrary to the Most High's law as it pertains to laying with a man and a man laying with a woman. So it goes both ways. When you see these different, there are plagues, there are punishments attached for walking contrary to the Most High's law. Can a man lay down with another man in the bed? He can do it. It's disgusting. It's an abomination before the Most High. Not because you're allowed to do that wickedness, that you can do it, means it's allowable, means it's acceptable. So we have to understand that not because you can do it means it should be done. Not because you can do it means it should be done. There are punishments related to that. Sure, you can go and eat all the shrimp you want and all the catfish you want. Not because you can do it means it can be done. I want you to understand that when you do it, there's going to be punishments with that. So stop looking for any type of excuse in any occasion by which you can justify wickedness, you can justify evil, and you can justify breaking the Most High's commandments. You're paying for it. You just don't understand when you're being plagued. You just don't understand why, and you don't understand what it's for. You get an STD if you're not aware of these laws. Your mind doesn't think, I'm being plagued here because I'm running through the daughters of Zion. And the woman doesn't think, I'm being plagued here because I'm spreading my legs for every man that comes by. She doesn't understand how what she's doing is contrary to law. Neither does she understand that the breaking of that law results in judgment. And that's why she's going through what she's going through. So let's be mindful that not because you can do something means it's legal. Not because you can do it means it's acceptable in the sight of the Most High. So do not make excuses and occasion by which to break the Most High's commandments by presenting some kind of foolishness. Well, I've been eating shrimp. I like shrimp. Everyone eats shrimp. There's nothing wrong with that. My grandfather ate pork. There's nothing wrong with him, and all these other different things. We were given specific commandment of what to do and what not to do. And that's going to be the choice that we all have to make. Or are we going to obey this law and see peace within our house, to see the extension of our days, to see the Most High give mercy unto us? Or we're going to say, you know what? I'm going to turn and do this anyway. And we're going to deal with these plagues and we're going to deal with these punishments. And anytime you decide to buck, you're going to pay. Now, for those of you who have been in this law, I want you to understand that ignorance. There are some people who have never known this law, never known it, never heard of it, and they have been walking contrary for the longest time. That's one thing when you're maneuvering in ignorance and you're sinning and you don't know. For those of you who are in this law and you understand what is right, i.e. righteous, and what is evil and wicked, i.e. unrighteous, once you have been shown, taught exactly which way to go and which way not to go, should you revert back to your old ways like a dog to his vomit, you can bet that the Most High will come down on you heavy and hard, more so than that individual who didn't know. For you were shown righteousness, and you, after being shown it, decided to go the other way and turn your back against it. So a lot of our people are now coming into this righteousness, are now coming into the Most High's law, statutes, judgments, and precepts. But once you understand this thing, and you see how it works, and you understand these punishments and these judgments for walking contrary to it, if you decide to walk in this thing, and then sometime down the road you decide, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore, then all your righteousness will be forgotten, and your punishment will be swift and harsh, because you were shown it, and though you were shown, you still decided to be rebellious. So don't do the things that you want to do. Don't walk your own way, and don't just do it because you figure since you can do it, it can be done, and it's okay. The pig is here, I can eat it. The shrimp is here, I can eat it. If God didn't want me to eat it, He wouldn't make it. This is the kind of nonsense that our people will spew out of their mouths. Once again, most of this is in ignorance. So do not be caught up in, okay, if I can do it, it's okay. This is not the case. That is why we were given a choice. Choose this life, choose this law in life, choose walking contrary in death. Choose life that you may live. That means walk within this law. Not because you can do it means that it should be done. So anything that's contrary to to the Most High's law, statutes, judgments, and precepts, my advice to you would be, don't do it. Once again, not because you can do something means that it should be done. And that doesn't mean that it's acceptable to the Most High. So two cannot walk together lest they be agreed. Keep those things in mind. Peace, Israel, and Yah bless. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. Once again, if it pertains to the Most High's law, you walk in it. If it's contrary to the Most High's law, don't do it. Sure, you can do it, but it's a thing that ought not to be done. Peace, Israel, and Yah bless. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. Peace, Israel.